Welcome to 13 minutes of gig news in 13 minutes or less. All right, guys, let's jump in. First things first. If you heard on the roundtable this week or last night, we mentioned it on Driver Nation. Solo has launched in 6 new cities: Tucson, Phoenix, Denver, Las Vegas, Portland, and Salt Lake City. If you use the referral link in the show notes, right here in this video show notes, and link one account to a Solo account, you download Solo from that link, you link one account, you will get $20. It's definitely worth the few minutes it'll take, and you'll get to try out Solo. You get 14 days for free, even if you're not in a major city, one of the ones I listed, or one of the several others. They're now in 31 major cities. But even if you're not in one of those markets, you can still take advantage of this and get $20 simply by linking one account. But the more you link, the more you will see the pay guarantee. Even if it's not in your market yet, you will see it and you will help it come to your market faster, if that makes sense. Any questions about this so that nobody's confused, please feel free to contact me at steve@ridesharerodeo.com. And again, all of the news that I bring to you guys here comes from several outlets, several different people, but it can all be found at one spot, ridesharerodeo.com. Okay. First things first, the obvious. DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub, food delivery platforms are slowing. It's partially the time of year, but also it's a number of factors. It's the economy, it's the high cost and fees associated with these companies. Now, people are noticing it a lot more now that they're having to pinch the wallet a little more because of the financial state we're in. I'm being very cautious to step around the word recession. We're in a recession, but I think it's recession plus at this point. I'm starting to notice it in all kinds of walks of life. And when this happens, it's not a shocker. A lot of things start to go down. However, usually in something like this, you're dealing with companies that have been around a long time who have made profits and have solid foundations. Like the biggest foundation that the delivery and rideshare platforms have are their association and affiliations with cities. So, because none of them make money. Now, do some people invested in these companies make money? I can't say for sure, but I think we can all take a wild guess and say probably. There's probably some people profiting from this stuff. I think we all know that. That's not a shock. But the bottom line is all of these companies have been hemorrhaging money. And now we're in hard financial times. There's layoffs for the people who are actually employees of these companies. Oversaturation is going through the roof to make sure they have 6 times more drivers than they need in every market so that they can compete to be the fastest and the best. And to be the fastest and the best, you need 6, 7 times more drivers than would be needed at any given moment to be on the platform, to be the fastest. So who's the fastest? The one with the most drivers. Who's that? DoorDash. So they're making sure that way too many of us are out there on the delivery platforms, and they know there's not enough orders. But they're doing that to make sure that when an order does come in, the fastest company that can do it is them. Uber Eats, Grubhub, DoorDash. And, in Europe and other places, there's others. But here, those are the 3. Let's get into a little bit about some states making some moves this week. So this week, updating from last week, we've been talking about it since the end of last year, beginning of this year. Pennsylvania, gig workers, be aware of a huge union push coming your way. Basically, a lot of your lawmakers have decided that since so many people are going into the gig economy and are doing so well in the gig economy, or better than they had been, that they better decide for you guys what's best for you. That being an independent contractor isn't best for you. because they're the state and they know better than you do what's best for you. Did any of that make sense? It doesn't even make sense. But that's what they do. And so they would love it if all of you gig workers would just calmly and quietly do as they say and become employees and pay union dues. And they're making a huge push, as big as the one in Minneapolis. So Pennsylvania, you are on our radar now. You've been on my personal radar, but now you're on my map radar. I am watching it, and so are a bunch of other people, but it's a state that we're watching. The next one is not a state I'm watching too much, although it concerns me that it even is being brought up in pretty much all the media down there. Arizona is now going to be in a fight about the independent contractorship. Now, there is a very right-leaning state, and that would be a very hard push to make everybody be unionized in Arizona. That would require a national push that Arizona would need funding, and to get that funding, they would have to it would require a lot of messiness. So that, in my book, that would be one of the last states to go. What worries me and concerns me is that all the news outlets are reporting on these, some of the bills and legislations that are trying to get pushed through, even Arizona right now. I mean, I'm going to tell you guys right now, my own state of Colorado is under attack right now. They would love to see us unionized and turned into employees. Now, if things go much farther in this state, I will get very loud. And not that I wouldn't for any state, but I have a right to here in this state. I reside in this state. I have a right to speak to a representative in this state. I have a right to consult my congressman in this state. And I have some ins with some people who are in legislation in this state. So I will be very loud. We will see what happens there. But the bottom line is, guys, look at the federal government, Biden's proposal that starts in May of this year. Will it be slapped with lawsuits upon lawsuits upon lawsuits? Absolutely. Will it take a year, 2 years, 5 years in court? Absolutely, maybe. Who can tell what'll happen? But here's the bottom line. Will the companies who are hemorrhaging money and can barely keep afloat, are they going to just tell the investors we need to lose a ton more to spend multi-millions in every state fighting legally? Or will they just simply take it out of driver pay? Is that part of oversaturation? Because it is. If you oversaturate your market by 700%, well, then you can just take it out of the drivers and make the offers, believe it or not, even worse than they are now. And people will still take them. That's the thing, guys. I mean, when does pay go up in a market for a driver? We say it never does, but when does it? As soon as oversaturation comes back down to the amount of drivers that are actually needed. When that happens, pay goes up until they can oversaturate it again and bring the pay back down. That's how it works. It's pretty simple, but the federal government is dead set on turning, and then they are serious, guys. This is no joke. This is not trying to scare everybody, but they are dead serious on taking away the rights of independent contractors across the country. That is 60 million people. 60 million people working in this country are independent contractors. That is 1/3 of the American workforce. So my hundreds of questions, my primary one is, first of all, my personal values are, what are you doing? This is ridiculous. This is a right we all have here. This is a free country. This is the land of opportunity. What are you doing? My second one is, where are the 60 million jobs going to be? Because we know California AB5 created zero jobs. They killed off tons of careers, created zero jobs. Now, Now we get to the good stuff, you guys. I keep catching you up every week. Well, we have 2 events coming up on Rideshare Rodeo this month that you should not miss. Friday, February 10th, I have the pleasure of having Mike Harubi on. That will be at 2 p.m. Eastern, and please join us live. Mike will be talking about New Jobs America. He will be talking about his legislation to keep independent contractors independent with the right to work. So he's all about this movement and keeping us independent. Mike's been doing this for 40, 50 plus years, and he's very good at it. So Mike and I will be having a discussion, and you guys are not only welcome, I am inviting all of you to please come and join in. This is your livelihood too, not just mine. On February 22nd, I have the honor and privilege of having Karen Anderson and Kim Cavan back. Karen Anderson is the leading fighter against AB5 in California. And now let's separate the two. I'm not talking about Prop 22. Prop 22 was a result of AB5. I'm talking about AB5, the law that destroyed livelihoods and careers in California and has shown nothing but failure 100% across the board. Karen Anderson is the leading fighter in the fight against AB5. She will be joining us, as well as Kim Cavan, who is a wolf at tearing into governments that step out of line. She's in New Jersey, but she writes for the Washington Post and other outlets, and she will be joining us as well. And we're going to tear into all this because we are all on the same side that we want the right to be independent contractors. Look, even they say, and I say too, you want to present an option where people can choose employment unionization and or choose to be independent contractors? Great. If not, back off. And it's time to really get serious and talk about this. So join us on those dates. That's 13 minutes of news in just under 13 minutes. I'll see you guys back here next week. Until then, be safe. Peace.